and welcome to Cozy Cabin Crochet. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks on tips and tricks for beginners for crocheting. For this video, that's what it's gonna be. So let's get started. So the first tip that I have, number one, is you don't really want to be holding your hook like this, like gripping it like this, because that's going to make it harder to crochet and it's going to make your hand feel really sore at times. You want to hold it something more like this, with your thumb on the bottom, this side right here. Sorry, I keep looking over to check it. So you want it, your thumb on the bottom side here, and the other four fingers on the top here. And it might get some getting used to, but you don't ever want to squeeze your hook too tight, but you also don't want to make it so loose that it's like falling out of your hand half the time. So you want to hold it something like this, or sometimes I hold it like this, with my fingers kind of curled around the hook with a thumb on the bottom side. That's what I do sometimes for crocheting, but I also do this sometimes. It's better to use one technique than use multiple techniques for holding your hook. That way you get more adapted to it and it's easier, and you're like, should I use this method or this method? Would it be good for this one or that one? It'll be easier because you'll adapt to it enough that it'll be good for a good strategy for any type of project. So the next tip, number 2, is recommendations for and advice for holding your yarn. You shouldn't crochet like for example, you're doing a single crochet and then you wrap the yarn around and then it's like loose on your hook, and then try to pull it through, and that won't work necessarily. It might work, but it won't work too well. So what you want to do is drape the yarn over your middle finger or your pointer finger. I use the middle finger because it's what I've adapted to, and you want to squeeze it with your pointer finger, or if it's your pointer finger you're draping it over, you want to squeeze it with your middle finger. But whichever finger you want to use, you squeeze it in between the pointer finger and the middle finger. And then you want to wrap your yarn around your hook something like this, or some people do the yarn under technique, which might make it look a little bit different, but most people use the yarn over technique. I definitely use the yarn over technique a lot. I only use the yarn under technique if it's recommended. So, hold on a second. Next tip, number 3, is how many projects you should, as a beginner, try to limit yourself to. For me, my recommendation as a beginner would be 2 to 3 projects started at one time, because even less if you don't want more than one project started at a time. But that's what I would recommend if you want to start multiple projects at one time, for beginners, because it will take up a lot of your space. For me, I have a million projects started right now, and it makes it a little bit disorganized for me. So you want to keep it like your space like organized so you can get to things easily. But as you progress, I'm like an intermediate crocheter. Even though I still have too many projects started, I can't keep myself from starting new projects. So that's a goal you want to set for yourself. Try to limit yourself to only a few projects. As you progress through your crocheting, you can start more projects, and it's completely up to you how many projects you want to start, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, advanced, any one of those levels. It's completely up to you. It's just a recommendation to keep organization and to keep your anxiety level down. So yeah, that's number 3. And now I have number 4, recommendations on where you should get your yarn. Some places are more expensive than others, but for beginners, you're not going to really need big skeins of yarn because you're going to start with smaller projects that are easier for you because you probably won't know as many stitches and techniques. So most Dollar Trees have yarn. This yarn that I have right here, I've used some of it, but it's their tweed yarn. It's from Dollar Tree. And they have multiple types of yarn. Dishcloth yarn. Some stores I know have sock yarn, regular number 4 yarn, and even number 6 fluffy yarn for those of you who do amigurumi, blankets, and other things that involve fluffy yarn. And since they're smaller skeins, it'll be better to do for your smaller projects, and it won't take up as much room as some others will, like Bernat yarn. Some of Lion Brand's yarn skeins are really big. So that's what I recommend for where you should get your yarn. And that is my last tip for beginner crocheters or intermediate or advanced crocheters. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss another one of my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked this video, and I will see you guys later.